Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing podcast, episode number 368. So I decided to record today's episode at the very beginning of the day. As you can see, it's a lovely sunny morning in Dublin at the moment, and it's one of those what I call stormy days. Those of you that are already reading the blog or listening to the podcast, you know what I mean by that. But for those of you that don't, I call stormy days the days where there's a risk for me to potentially not have time to write the blog post or record the episode of the podcast. And why is it important? Because this is a journal, and it's a daily journal. That project is a daily blog post and also, a daily podcast episode. And that's something that is non-negotiable. I made it mandatory for myself to do it every single day before midnight. Sometimes I do it, most of the times I do it in the evenings and very close to the midnight. Sometimes I'll record the podcast episode and upload it to YouTube, or have it on my phone or on my laptop, and then just upload it in the evening together with writing the post and then publish them together. But in general, they are both live and accessible late in the evening, European time, I would say. It's probably more of an afternoon or evening time for the US. And today is one of those days because I am not doing all of that in the home setting. So I don't have all the means and schedule like I do in home settings, so there is always a risk that I may not make it, one or both of them, blog post or the podcast episode. So when I drive to Dublin, and it's usually for reasons, either we have some appointment as a family or I go to the office at work, which is sporadically happening, but I do it sometimes. And when I'm in the office, it's actually it is still stormy because, there are meetings and other distractions that might cause me to not write or record, but at the same time, I have fairly quiet setting in the office and means to both write and record stuff at my own pace or choice of time. And obviously we have meeting rooms available, which are very handy to do that. I learned to use them sometimes for the sake of this podcast. But again, I still have 3 hours drive from Donegal town to Dublin in the morning, 3.5. This time it's actually 4 hours because of the heavy traffic in Dublin. I'm expected to arrive at 9:42, which means that I will probably be in the office 9:45 at best. It's still not a bad time, but I usually arrive before 9. Today is just mad. And then I need to leave in the evening around, I would say, 5 or 6 p.m. and drive back home, which usually takes anyway about 3 hours. So I'm quite late in the evening at home. I don't see family for the whole day, so obviously I don't want to spend that valuable time that I can spend with family doing still valuable blog or podcast, but if I had a chance to do it earlier. So that's why it's stormy day. It's basically like a storm, quite self-explanatory. You never know what happens. It's quite messy sometimes, and you need to adjust or adapt to the situation. This is the first time I'm actually recording it in the morning on a stormy day. And I see that it might be a good idea, especially when I drive to Dublin alone. Because if we drive as a family, obviously, that might not be the best option. But today, it actually is. I didn't do that before because every time I drive to Dublin myself for the office day, I do also TikTok lives. So if you are on TikTok or you would like to interact with me live, then those are opportunities to exchange and interact with ourselves on TikTok. So I do TikTok lives for about 2, sometimes 2.5 hours, sometimes 1.5 hours, depending on what the signal is and coverage, and you know, when I am able to turn the live on. So today I did, I would say probably 1.5 hour plus, and it was a lovely live on TikTok. I've met one person that returned. I have a couple of repeated users, and these are legends that are coming up on my lives very often. I think more people, more repeated watchers and people that I know from this platform usually come in the evening lives. In the morning lives, it depends. This time it was one person, Mercedes, and I also use that TikTok lives as a means to grow my presence on TikTok, and it works very well because we have a nice conversations. I meet people that are actually in the area, so when I drive past certain towns, TikTok is suggesting that to people in those towns. So some of them appear on the live, and we talk about a lot of local things and also about some weird stuff as well. So it's very cool. And obviously, natural result of these things is that sometimes people start following me. And today actually was very fruitful because I usually get about maybe, well, on average I would say 2 to 3 followers per live, which is not super good, but I'm not pushing for it. I'm not asking for following unless they want to be notified about future lives. Then I say that, hey, you might want to follow me if you want to be notified about the next live, and you can unfollow me afterwards if you don't want, or you don't like my content later on. But other than that, I'm not marketing for follows. They are completely organic and natural. When people feel that they want to follow me, they will just follow, and that's lovely. It's more rewarding this way. And there are lives that sometimes I get like 5 follows. There are lives that I get 1 or 0. So on average about 2 to 3 follows per live. But today it was a spike because I've got 11 follows, which is huge for me. I'm not a big creator or, you know, TikToker, and that's not the reason I do TikToks. I want to have quality followers that decided to follow me and not were pushed by me clickbaiting them or doing some weird shit to get them on board. And that also makes the retention rate better, and people don't unfollow afterwards, which is great. So that's a kind of tip for those of you that might want to start on TikTok. If you have any repeated situations that allow you for some time alone, like driving, and you have fair coverage on mobile, you might consider that it's actually a great means to double on the time that you're driving and get some benefits out of it. So this is what I do. I am currently reaching the office, so that will be the end of today's episode. I'm not sure if I will record any second part, probably not, but if I will do, I will stitch it after this one as a continuation, so it will be a single video. Sometimes I do it, sometimes not. My videos are not edited at all, so I'm not cutting and, you know, throwing away any mistakes. You get it as genuine and authentic as it can be. That's also the reason behind this. I do it as a accountability thing for myself, but also for people to get a bit of difference, because I know that there are professionally done YouTube podcasts or video podcasts. They are perfectly cut, you know, there are nice cameras, lighting, etc. In this case, it's very random, unfortunately, for some. If you like super sharp quality and edits, then this blog might not be for you, and podcast. But if you like authenticity and genuinity and, you know, that natural feel, I'm here for you. All the mistakes, be it language mistakes or some weird things that might be happening fun on the video, are included. The only thing that I will not include is if I start the video and immediately make a mistake. I call it a blooper, like the normal bloopers. I still save them because I plan to do one big compilation of those bloopers for those of you that are, you know, continuous watchers, readers, listeners. It will happen at some stage, probably around episode 400 or 500 of the, or day 400 or 500. So just to explain for those of you that are new to the podcast and blog, there's a slight discrepancy. This blog and the project itself exists for 368 days today. So there's 368 blog posts and 368 days or podcast episodes. But initially it was only audio podcast for about 200 and something episodes, and then I started doing videos. So this particular video episode or podcast is number, I believe, 146. So you can see there's quite a huge discrepancy. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. I'll see if I can record any extra bits. If not, see you in the next episode, which will be again tomorrow. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see more. Go to the blog because it's in the description. www.bluntforcehealing.com is the address, or bluntforcehealing.wordpress.com. If you go there, blog posts are a better way to consume my project, because blog posts are constructed in a way that there's a write-up, and in the middle you have embedded this video episode related to particular posts, so you can consume them in one place instead of going to YouTube and blog separately. That's it for today. Hope you have a great day or afternoon or the rest of the evening, wherever you are. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.